Right guys, welcome to a very wet and windy Skomer Island. So it was 28 degrees yesterday. You could probably guess it's not 28 today. Nevertheless, I booked this months ago and the British summer is just the British summer, so already look, you can see little puffins behind, so stick around, I'll see what we can get. I mean, this weather might make for some nice images with some water droplets, and I mean, I'm trying to get the positives out, but yeah, we'll see. The light's pretty low, so yeah, we'll see what we can get. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy the video, and yeah, see what we get. Right, now normally I wouldn't be seen dead in one of these cags, but they said they're £5, so I thought, well, £5, not going to risk not taking it. And I've got a bit of a cag in the car, to be honest, like a camo one, but it's a bit questionable how well it'll keep me dry, so I thought the plastic bag will do a good job. No doubt not going to let any water in. So I'm not sweating inside either, so that's good. But yeah, this rain has just come in. But it does have moments where it's quite quiet and the breeze is still there, but the rain kind of stops, so it's very light, which I can deal with that. But when it's like this is just relentless. So, see what we find anyway. Right, the trick today is going to be keeping this camera dry, so I've got it under my cag because I don't really want to, although it's all weather sealed, so it should actually be okay, but so I'm not too concerned. But it's that wet that, you know, you never know, so you just want to protect this gear. It's expensive, and I've actually, it's not, even though the weather's so bad, it's not actually been that bad on the nature side of things. I've seen stone chats, I've seen wagtails, all young as well, which is good to see. So yeah, it hasn't really stopped the nature taking place, and it doesn't, does it? And apparently puffins love the wet. I don't love the wet, I'll tell you that now. So yeah, I've just got to keep this gear dry. The lens hood's on, obviously, and the camera's pointing down the whole time, because once I get a bit of wet on that lens, it's going to be very difficult to get that clarity in the lens back and keep it dry. There's basically nowhere here to take cover either, really. There's a couple of hides and a farmhouse, but other than that, you're on your own. So yeah, I'm going to try and take some cover. I'll show you some of those images. I've got stone chats and the wagtail, so yeah, and maybe a few puffin shots that I've got early on. So I've actually found, as soon as I got off the boat, obviously you have to do a little brief of the island and things like that, and I found that that's one of the best places on the island, in my opinion, to do some birds in flight photography. Now today's not really the day for it, because it's literally just grey, 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 rain, 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 but I have managed to pop some off. I was at about 2,500 shutter speed, because these puffins flap really quick. So although the body's quite still, so you can probably get some motion blur on the wings with a still body and get some nice shots perhaps. But obviously because of the darkness, the ISO is pretty high, so I think I was about 4,000, 5,000 ISO. So we'll see how well they come out. I'll still show you the images anyway, the ones that were in focus, but obviously the ISO is probably going to let them down. So yeah, but yeah, it's the best place by far to take photos of the puffins because they all seem to, it's just a constant conveyor belt, puffins just flying in. And it's nice to wait till they get behind, so they've got get in front of some the cliffs, because it puts a dark background on them rather than having the say the sky or something behind them. Especially on a day like today, you need to almost have a dark background to brighten your subject. So yeah, I feel like I've got some decent ones. I think the ISO is just going to let them down. It just makes me think what I would have got on a day where it was glorious. So yeah, we'll see what we can make of it. I think the rain will make for some good drama in the photos anyway. So yeah, we'll see. So I'm just at the farm kind of location. Obviously there's a lot of swallows because there's a kind of a bit of a barn area. But I've just noticed that he's sitting on a branch, getting out of the weather. I think they've just fledged because they're not airborne, but they look like they could be. But obviously today's a bit windy and the conditions are a bit horrible, so I think they're just getting fed from the parents. So I'll just show you. I'll show you on the phone, then I'll show you the video and images I managed to get. Just see them sitting on that branch there, all huddled together in the rain. And then there's one to the left there. So yeah, photographer's dream really. So I've just hung around and just waited for him to, you know, got a few images from a few different angles, and obviously not bothered. Still getting fed by the parents, and they're obviously used to people, although we're obviously on a remote island. There's a lot of people visit this island, and especially this part of the island with the farm. So yeah, cracking little moment really. Sometimes I think, as wildlife photographers, why do we put ourselves through it? I mean, hopefully some of the images today will prove why we do put ourselves through it. Oh my god, the hide. There's a bird hide up ahead. So I'm going to head towards that cover. I can probably start sprinting. Right, so I've been in the hide taking cover for about probably half an hour, 40 minutes, so used up quite a bit of time. But as you noticed, my gear's changed a little bit now, so the CAG that I bought with me, to be honest, I should have just put that on from the start because it just covers the whole camera, no chance of even getting wet. I like to give the lens a bit of a dry because the rain was that bad, it was getting spots. So yeah, back out, let's see what we can get now. Heading to the Wick, which is supposedly the best part. Photograph puffins or get close to them, so yeah, see you there. Not bothered at all. The rain's still coming down. So he's not bothered. Alright guys, so I've just probably spent the best part of maybe an hour at the Wick, and it is probably a really good, it is probably one of the best places on the island to come and take photos of the puffins especially. Another area where they're coming in for landing all the time. They're constantly leaving the rocks as well, although it's hard to know when they're going to go, so I haven't got much birds in flight, to be honest, and I've tried to keep the lens as dry as I can, but still got a bit of water on it again, so I'm going to go back to that hide, see if I can clean up the lens and dry it off. And I'll put some images on that I've just got from the Wick. So yeah, absolute fantastic bit of headland that is. One of the best things that's come from today, although it's hard to keep the equipment dry, is just the actual drama that the rain has given on some of these photos. You can see the water droplets bouncing off the head, sitting on the feathers. It just adds something to the photos. So yeah, absolutely ecstatic with what I got so far. There's other bits of the island. I'm going to go to High Cliff, which is a 1 minute walk away. So the rain is, to be fair, it's eased off a little bit now, but I think the damage is done. I've got to go and clean this lens off at some point and dry it off and go again really, but you can't odds the weather. I don't think the rain's going to stop. It's just going to get less harsh, or just a bit of drizzle at best, to be honest. The wind seems to have dropped though, which is good. So once it gets dried up, it should be easier to control. This side of the island seems a lot more covered actually. It's on the opposite side of the island now to the Wick, but with the Wick you've got that much opportunity, and that's all photographers need: enough opportunity, enough time, which you get here. You've got 5 hours to just basically walk around the island and get as many photos as you can, so no excuse not to come back with anything really. It's all down to you getting the images and getting used to the conditions while you're here, because with this low light, although it's actually brightened up a little bit now, but a lot of it has been low light, so you've just got to lower the shutter speeds down to keep that ISO down, because last thing you want is the ISO getting out of control, because your images are just going to look fuzzy. So yeah, this is the High Cliff. It's quite a quiet area, there's a lot of overgrown grass, but there are some puffins about, so yeah, I'll see what I can do here for a bit, and then I'm going to go and dry my lens off. Alright guys, so there's not much happening at this High Cliff. I did manage to get a couple of images of some puffins with some like nice tufts of grass, and almost creating like a bit of an archway. So I'll show you that image, but I do think it's suffered really with the droplets on the lens. So if you look at the, you know what I mean, that's not good. So I'm going to have to find that hide or the farm and dry the lens and come back out. I mean, hopefully the rain and the wind stays off like it is doing for the time being, and we'll hopefully be able to get a lot more images. I want to get some razorbills and guillemots, but I'm not seeing a load, to be honest. So I think they probably, maybe they leave the island earlier and go out to sea earlier with the young perhaps. So yeah, we'll see. So getting on to the subject of low light photography, which is obviously a bit of what I'm doing today. Obviously we're in the day, it's summer, so it's like it's not that dingy and dark, but it is going to affect your images on days like this where it's cloudy and really dark clouds and rain. So it's important to just control that shutter speed really low, give you the best chance. Also your aperture wide open, as low as you can get it really. And then really you want some form of like tripod or monopod. I've got the Cobra 3 with me today, the iFootage Cobra 3 carbon fibre one, so that gives me a little bit of stability when I'm taking the images. So that's helped today definitely on the low light subject. So sometimes you just have to, for certain things, like if you're trying to get birds in flight, you're going to have to up the speed anyway, but just that extra little bit of stability will help with the tripod and things like that. So trying to do a video here. Yeah, so yeah, just a few tips really, just to get better results from low light photography. Right, so I've just come in the hide. It's quite a pokey little hide, to be fair, and there's 3 nests here. But yeah, so just come in to get out of the rain. Plenty of gulls behind me. I bought a load of these with me dry in the bag, and basically I'm just going to dab my lens down and my body down, camera body, and just over the buttons, and obviously pat that lens dry, and then get some of the nice cloths, the little fibre cloths, and just clean the lens with, obviously you've got to make sure this is absolutely dry as anything. So yeah, then hopefully we should head back out there. Alright guys, so while I just travel to the next part of the island, because this island it's about 2 miles in length and then 1.5 miles across roughly. Obviously it depends on where you're walking from and to. Also there's manx shearwater on Skomer, 300,000 pairs, but you won't see one in the day because they're nocturnal, so they go out to sea of an evening, catch their fish and bring them back to the nest. So yeah, so puffins obviously is a main attraction for everyone, and I think there's about 35,000 puffins on here. Whether that's breeding pairs or actually single puffins, I don't know, but when I visited previously as well, there has been short-eared owls, there's obviously meadow pipits, rock pipits, a lot of stone chat. I don't know if there's any wind chat, but so a lot of variety on Skomer anyway. So yeah, really good for multiple pictures, which hopefully I'm going to come across today. Anyway, just had to stop for a minute because there's quite a lot of, I believe it's a meadow pipit. It looks like a meadow pipit to me, and there looks like a couple of adults, and there must have been some fledglings recently because it's like there's a couple of adults calling on top of the ferns, and with a lot of grubs and insects in the mouth, almost to encourage young out of nests. So obviously they're a ground nesting species, so I imagine below the ferns there's somewhere there'll be a nest where the young are probably already left, and they're on the floor, but they're being encouraged to come to the top. So yeah, I managed to get some quite good images, I think, and obviously the rain's still coming down, so hopefully it's some nice droplets and things on the ferns and dropping onto the bird, and obviously through the air as well. If there's one thing I love about puffins, it's just the innocence that they even on a photo, even if you've never seen a puffin in your life, but especially when you've seen a puffin, it's just the innocence, and it's just true absolute nature at its best, and one of the best looking birds we have in the UK. And amazingly tied with that is they're so allowing you to come so close to them and not even bothered by you really. So it's best when you come to the island though, don't put your phones in their face, or don't, you know, helps when you've got big long lenses like this, I get that, but just stay clear of especially when you're at the Wick, because at the Wick you can often be standing in the way of the burrows because they like to cross the path a lot. So sometimes they're trying to get food to their burrow, but because it's a quite popular spot, there's a lot of people kind of in the way, and they'll sometimes, if they've got a lot of fish, the gulls actually take the fish purely because they can't get to the burrow as quick because people are in the way basically, and they're a bit fearful of going past. So there's quite a number of times today where some lesser blackback gulls had basically taken the fish off some of the puffins, which, you know, it's nature. That's how it is at the end of the day. They've got to eat too, they've got chicks to feed, but it just seems a bit of a cheap shot, doesn't it, taking fish from the puffins while they're about to get it to the chicks and stuff. So never mind, it's just one of those bits of nature. But another thing to keep in mind when you come to Skomer, really, just be mindful of where some of the puffins are trying to get to, and don't get in the face, because you don't need to anyway. They're tolerant enough that they'll just let you, they'll walk up to you oftentimes as well. So yeah, that's why it's such a good place to come. You haven't really got to try hard for your photography, really, only in the actual you know, how you're going to make the shot up, really. So yeah, right, I think this is where we're going to close the video off, guys, because I haven't got too long till the boat starts to land again, and obviously I've got to be there ready for it. So I'm probably going to head back, take some last few snaps of the puffins coming into land, because that's a good area for it. And yeah, I mean, today just goes to show, no matter how bad the weather looks out there, or, you know, if your plans feel like they're ruined, photography always seems to surprise you. And the photos today have just absolutely, they're some of my favourite photos I think I've ever taken, just because of the rain. And it just shows you how little I actually go out in the rain, really, because I would understand that if I went out more and actually shot in the rain a bit more. And I think everyone should go and shoot out in the rain more. My hand was kind of forced because I'd already booked this and the room, and all I had to do was commit the travel today, well, last night, and I did. So I am so glad that I did now, because I think it's really paid off. And I have enjoyed today, even though it's been an absolute slog with all the gear, keeping the gear dry and drying the lenses and all that kind of stuff. I think the pictures of, looking at the back of the camera, some of the pictures are just absolutely some of my best photos anyway. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. I'm definitely going to come back to Skomer, hopefully when I get a bit different weather, a bit drier maybe. And yeah, so hopefully I'd like to stay on the island as well, because you can stay on Skomer. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video and the variety that I've shown you today, with the small birds, the puffins, and yeah, many different things really on this island to go at. So sometimes as well there has been short-eared owls. So anyway, we're going to leave the video there. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.